I'm going to take you on a journey of how I started my clothing brand with just three t-shirts, and I have managed to sell over 49 million naira worth of clothes. Yes, you heard that right. Let's dive into the wins, the struggles, and everything in between. So if you're someone that's thinking about starting a business or a clothing brand, or you're someone who is just curious about the process, stick around. You will definitely learn or be motivated by this. So let me start from the beginning. It all started with an idea and three t-shirts. Just like every one of us, I always wanted to do something that represented my style, do something that I really resonated with. I was clueless on what direction I wanted to go, but I knew I wanted to do this. But like most of us, I didn't have a lot of money to start the business with, so I decided to start small, and that was why I started with just three t-shirts. I designed and printed just three t-shirts, no fancy equipment, no inventory, no plan. I just started with those three t-shirts. After printing the three shirts, I gave it to my friends because we had a party to attend that night. So I used that as an opportunity to get a lot of content for social media in order to create hype and to show people this new journey that I was embarking on. For people that were interested to join me on the journey and people that wanted to support to be excited on what was to come. Here's the thing, the first few months were rough because the money that I had was the money I used to print those three t-shirts. They wore it to a party, so there was no way I was able to sell those shirts, and those were the t-shirts that my friends ended up keeping. I wasn't even sure if this idea would work because this was just a trial and I didn't know which direction to go. I didn't have any money to continue, so I thought of different ideas on how I can raise some money in order to make this dream a reality. Then I had this idea: what if I made shirts for companies? That way there wouldn't be any pressure of me trying to sell, market, or anything like that. They just pay for their inventory and I supply it to them, which just saves me a lot of stress, and then it will give me the cash flow that I needed to continue my brand. As soon as I had this idea, I knew that this was something that could work. I started refining my design skills and I just started working on which companies would I be approaching and how will I be able to approach them. I reached out to a couple companies, a lot of companies actually, and one company replied back to me, and this was Prime Cars, and the owner of the company was Mustafa. At the time his company was also starting off. I realized that most of his staff didn't have uniforms, they didn't have t-shirts, so I approached him with the idea, yes, why don't I make shirts for you and just send me your logo and I'll try to make a sample and bring it to you. He sent me his logo. I went to the print shop, made the sample. Since this is a company shirt, you don't even need to stress about design, you don't need to stress about a lot of things, which was what I wanted. The reason why I did this was I just wanted some cash flow for my business. And after I printed two samples, I didn't collect any money from him. With the last money that I had, I printed two samples and I took it to his office to show him. He ended up liking the shirt and he placed an order for 15, and this was the first person that ever believed in my brand and gave me money for my work. Then I knew I had something that was working. I ended up making the 15 shirts for his company, and with the extra money that I had, I ordered 12 blank t-shirts from China, and this was how the brand got the cash flow it needed. When I got the 12 blanks, I did two trial designs and I started doing print on demand. This was a process where I printed just two shirts, and then with the two shirts I promoted it really well on social media. Anyone who places an order, I go to print the shirts for the person and I send it to the person and collect the money. This was an easy process for me to do, and this was also a case where I wasn't investing so much in inventory because I couldn't afford the Chinese MOQ, and I was still like managing my risk. I used this time to learn how to build my social media presence more. I was getting better at building my social media profile, building a community, and that was when I termed the name of my community Absa Secret Society. Although there is a negative tone to secret society, this just means a society that is secret, and that's just how I want it to be. I want it to be a situation where if you know, you know, that's just it. There is no negative tone to this. This is just something that I see as the best kept secret. Every sale I made at this time meant the world to me. No matter how small or how huge the sale was, I cherished everything. Now let's fast forward a bit. After the first few sales, I decided to reinvest all the money back into the business. This was crucial because it helped me expand my inventory, also redefine my design and get better quality clothes. So without reinvesting into the business, I don't think I would have been able to get to the point where I was at that time. The first big breakthrough came for my brand when one of the biggest DJs in Cyprus reached out to me at the time about a collaboration. So he wanted to start like a brand brand of his own, so he didn't want to take on the risk by himself. And since he knew I was already in the game for 2 years, he reached out to me about a collaboration. So we decided to make 120 t-shirts. And I'm not going to lie to you, I was very scared at the time. What if they don't sell? I have never invested so much money into inventory at this point, such a huge amount, 120. And then he told me, don't worry about it, you are underestimating what you've built. And then the light bulb clicked in my head. He also has an audience, so it means he also has people that he can sell to. With those words that he told me, I felt really encouraged and I believed in myself. I was like, yes, of course I can do this. I've been doing this for a while now, so definitely I believe I can do this. And he also helped me take that risk. So we ended up investing half of the amount to make the 120 shirts. Before this collaboration, I never calculated sales, profits, or anything like that. And one day, I was on the phone with my mom when she asked me, how much did I make from my business that month? And I froze. I didn't have an answer to that. Then she told me, how can you be doing a business and you don't know how much the business is bringing in? This just shows you are not meant to be in the business world. Just focus on your studies, because clearly business isn't for you. She wanted me to be a lawyer, so she was just trying her best to make me lose interest in the business that I started so I can just graduate and become a lawyer. Because she wanted me to be a lawyer, this was a strong point for her, but she didn't understand that the business was bringing in money. I just didn't know how much the business was bringing in. So on Monday, 9th September 2022, I calculated how much the business had made and I saw 13.2 million Naira. That was what I had made. This was mind-blowing to me, obviously, because I knew money was coming in, but I just didn't know how much. And from this day on, this was when I knew I needed to be taking down how much the business was making or losing. And since then, I never stopped doing inventory and calculations. You see, the key to success wasn't about the clothes that I made. Of course, they were good quality clothes, but it was about the brand I was building. I took every step to make sure that I was doing something that had never been done, at least around me or around people that were in my age group or my peers. I wanted to stand for something. I wanted to build the most impactful brand in the world. Yes, of course, year one, this wasn't the mindset I had. I was just thinking about a way forward and what I could do. But slowly, as I kept growing, I kept redefining my skills, I kept getting better, and I seriously built my brand identity and my brand vision, what I wanted my brand to represent. Whether it was through the creativity or the free tips I gave to upcoming brand owners. I gave people a reason to care about the brand and also try to impact as many people as I could in the process. If you want me to mentor you and help you build your own clothing brand, DM me on any of my socials, these two words, Absa Academy. Absa Academy is basically a mentorship program that I help upcoming brand owners build their brand. I give you my list of cut and sew manufacturers, videos explaining in depth each aspect of you running your brand. I show you some behind the scenes stuff that I don't post on social media. It's 50,000 Naira to join. And the reason I made it affordable is because I genuinely want to help brand owners in Nigeria. And this also ties to the whole aspect of me building the most impactful brand in the world. Because when you join Absa Academy, you're definitely going to learn a lot. Drop a comment if you have any questions about starting a brand or if you're facing any challenges with your brand. I read all my comments. If you're curious to support my brand, the links would be in the description. Consistency on social media also played a huge role in how successful my brand grew to. I made sure I posted daily on TikTok. I also was frequently posting on Instagram. I post a story even up till today every day, and the same thing on TikTok. People that have been following the journey on TikTok. Now I just decided to open a YouTube channel because I know this is another way of growing my brand and still impacting as much people as I can. I engaged with my audience. I also posted behind the scenes of what was going on with the brand. I tried to be raw and authentic as possible because I knew people like that. We're all used to seeing corporate companies take over, that no one knew what it felt like to have just a single individual start and grow a company. They loved seeing the process, they loved seeing the wins, the struggles, and also anything else that I had to share. Because believe me, there were struggles, but we're not going to get into that right now. And now here we are, over 49 million Naira worth of sales. It is honestly mind-blowing to me. Like, trust me, I didn't believe when I was starting 4 years ago I would get to this point where I am today. But all through the grace of God, the consistency and the hard work that I put into building this brand that it is today. And over the course of years, I definitely added more people because I realized I couldn't do everything myself. This is just the beginning. I'm scaling up, dropping new collections, and continuing to grow the brand. And trust me, I am just as hungry as ever. So now, tips for aspiring clothing brand owners. 1. Start small, but start. Don't be dwelling on waiting for the right times for everything to align before you start. Just start, because me too, when I started 3 years ago, I didn't have all the answers. So it was a time of me too confusion, and that's usually how your first year is, or at least the first couple months of your first year. 2. Reinvest in your brand. Every single amount of money you make sure you put it back into the brand. Don't sell and go and use the money to eat or party, because then you are not growing your brand. 3. Engage with your community. Your audience is everything. Build a community around your brand. 4. Consistency is key. Whether it's by designing, posting, or promoting, don't stop. Keep pushing. Thank you so much for watching and being a part of this journey. If you found this video inspiring or insightful, please drop a thumbs up and subscribe for more content like this. Until next time, keep hustling and keep chasing those dreams. I'm Abdrazak Sani, and we are trying to build the most impactful brand in the world.